Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, John the House Guy, here with my lovely co-host,
Kim the Home Girl.
and today on the show, we're going to be talking about little things that make a big difference when you're building your home.
You're listening to the House Guy and Home Girl podcast, a podcast about real estate and real life. As realtors, home builders, and real estate investors, John and Kim keep it real. Former teachers turned real estate professionals, they have a heart for helping others. Join them each week as they discuss all things home. And now, here's your hosts, John and Kim.
All right, so we've been in the process of working on a house, and we've kind of been talking about, with a client and with a custom build, some little things that make a big difference in the overall enjoyment you have from your home when you get it built, right? Some things cost more money than others. Some of those things are just like, hey, this is a little bit of an extra, but you should do it because it will make a big difference in how much you enjoy your home.
And you know that I am all about like a little extra.
Oh, you're a lot extra.
But here's the deal, though, and that's where people really mess up. You really have to formulate a plan and semi-stick to it. I mean, because that plan, / budget, because there is a ceiling there. You know, there's only so much money. And when you add those little extra things, it does add to the overall cost of your project. But here's the deal, though, like, you really have to weigh out, these little things. When we talk about little things, sometimes we're talking like we're splitting hairs between like less than $100. You know what I mean? Like, to go up a little bit than the standard. Like, this is the standard. What we usually sell. You can go up a little bit, but not too much. And also, I always say, and I always tell clients that, pick a few things that are really important to you, and you can kind of splurge there, but you can't splurge everywhere.
So I tell Kim all the time, $500 is not a big deal when you're building a house, but $500 10 times is how much?
$5,000.
$5,000. So
$5,000.
if you add these things on, some of them are more expensive than others, but if you add these things on, then you're looking at an additional cost, and every time you do it, it adds up, right? So you talk about over the course of building your home, yes, I want to do this little extra thing, and I want to add this and add that, and then you get to the end and you're like, well, I'm $10,000 over. What happened? Well, you made these choices, right? And we encourage you to make choices that are going to be what you will enjoy when you live in your home, because you're going to be there for a long time. Most people that are building a home are going to be there at least 3 to 5 years. Some people are building their forever home.
Right.
And that makes a difference. If you're going to splurge and you're moving, or if you're going to be there forever, the cost is not, if it's spread out over a number of years, is not as big of a deal.
And here's the thing with us about these little things per se. It's funny because I think that we have added more little things throughout our progression of building. It seems like we add another little thing every time we build. And, that kind of separates us from other builders, I think, because a lot of times people, they go back to the drawing board and they're like, okay, what can we cut? Because material costs are so high. But then in the end, our houses usually sell, knock on wood. That's what makes our house a little different than the others.
Oh, yeah, and
those
building
extra
technology is always changing, right? There's always new stuff that's coming out. We're learning and integrating these new products all the time. So let's just start going down our list. We got about 10 things here, so let's kind of just burn through them. The first one is not really any kind of high technology thing, a laundry room sink, right? It's an option. It's something you don't have to have in your laundry room. You don't even have to have a laundry room, really. You can have a laundry closet, but a laundry room sink, that's an extra thing. It probably costs you $200 or $300 to add a sink in there, but it's a benefit that people really enjoy.
It's probably a little more than that, but if you really got down to the specs, because you have to add a plumbing drop, and then you've got to buy a fixture for it, and so it's probably I think when it's all said and done between $400 and $500 extra. But y'all, when you wash clothes, when you wash anything, you need to soak something or, scrub a little more. And what better way than to leave it all in the laundry? I use my laundry sink all the time. I think that we put a lot of laundry sinks, even in our specs. We had a laundry sink in our first house that we purchased. It was a mop sink, which is kind of an older sink. It's one with the legs that stands alone, and it's really deep. I mean, it's, you can put mop water in it. But that was the first one that we had, and those have changed and got a facelift over the years to where they're in the countertop and in the cabinets there. So, but yeah, definitely a laundry sink.
An add-on though, not something you had to have, but something you could. The next one on the list is a smart thermostat. Now these are thermostats that can be controlled with your smartphone or your computer. They can learn your habits. They can learn a schedule. You can set a schedule on them. They track your usage. We have one in our house. We have a Nest thermostat, and we love it. And
I love it.
The main benefit of it is when you're in the bed, right, and it's hot in the house or cold in the house.
Tick, tick, tick.
Just get on your phone
Yep.
and change the temperature. But it also saves you money because ours is an older version, but it has tracking on there, so it can use your cell phone to set up like a geofence around your house, and then when you leave home, your thermostat senses that you're gone, and then it can set your temperature to an away mode, which raises the temperature in your house or lowers it, whichever, the
Yeah, I
case may
truly
be.
believe that it does save you money over time, and you have it at your fingertips. If you were to be gone on vacation and you can set it, you can control everything from your phone, miles and miles away. And we always do that. And as we're traveling back, when we get about 2 hours away from home, we'll go ahead and cut it to a more comfortable setting. So
Yeah, put
we
it
don't have to
where-
get home and get our luggage. You're like, oh gosh, we're sweating.
Right.
Funny story about that though. So when we first moved into the house that we live in now, we had installed this Nest thermostat, and John was the only user on it. And so I'm unpacking and working and going, well, it starts to heat up in the house. And I start sweating. Like, we're 68 people, okay? 68, 69, maybe 70, but it starts heating up. And, like, every degree, I'm like, man, do I have a fever? What's going on? I've got to keep going. And I'm unpacking and sweating. And I'm like, the air conditioner doesn't work. It's faulty. Here we are. We just built this new house, and our air conditioner is broken, and it's in the middle of summer. And so I think it had got up to like 74. I was miserable. Like, whew, I'm going to have to sit down. And then as soon as Johnny gets home, it cuts on. I'm like, oh, well, it works now. I don't know what. And then come to find out, like, he had it set up on his cell phone to turn on. But yeah, that's a really nice device. Let's talk about the next item, spray foam insulation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those two go hand in hand. If
They
you're
do.
talking about energy savings, right? So the smart thermostat can definitely help you. And that's like a, that's like a $200 fix, right? It will definitely
Well, I don't
pay.
know if we do. How much is the thermostat, real quick?
That's what I'm saying. It's like a $200. That's what I'm
gotcha.
saying. It's like a
Okay.
$200 fix for a smart thermostat. And you can change that out yourself, probably. If not, get a technician to come over and do it. It might cost another $75. But
Very simple.
Yeah.
It's like an electrical issue, really.
And it works on Wi-Fi, so you'll have Wi-Fi in your house. Most everybody does now. So, but going hand in hand with that is a more expensive option and way to save energy is spray foam insulation, right? And on the cost of a home, you're probably talking about adding, upwards of $10,000 to $20,000, right, on the cost of your home.
If it's your forever home, really, really, really consider spray foam insulation. I truly believe if you're going to live there for a long period of time, yes, you really need to research and do your homework on spray foam insulation because it will save you hundreds of dollars.
Energy savings as far as your utility bill, the comfort in your attic. If you have spray foam insulation, basically what you've done is you turn your whole shell of your house into a Yeti cooler, right? Mm-hmm. It's all insulated. It's very comfortable in your attic even, whereas let's say like in the summertime here in Alabama, when you go into an attic in the summer that's not insulated, that doesn't have spray foam insulation, you're talking probably 135 to 145 degrees in the attic. Whereas an attic that has spray foam insulation encapsulated in there, you're probably somewhere in the 80 to 90 temperature range. And so you're thinking about bringing your whole home down to a temperature of around 70. Your air conditioner, air handler is in the attic, and it's at 130 degrees. Is much harder to bring that temperature down to
It's working
70.
Yeah,
Whereas
a lot
if it's
less.
85 degrees in your attic, it's only having to drop a few degrees to get it to where it's comfortable.
Right.
So it really is a
And it's like a spectacle too. Like after they spray it, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is like the coolest thing. Like we should take a little field trip up here. You know, like I don't know. I've taken we've done spray foam insulation, and I've taken people like, you've got to see this. This is amazing, because you know it would be in the heat of summer, and then like what would the temperature be?
I mean, seriously, probably 80 degrees.
Yeah.
Maybe crawling up to 90 when we have a super hot day, but it's
comfortable.
it's comfortable
though.
in there, yeah.
And you got to think about all the other things, like, you know, it without any air conditioner, it's 80 degrees in the hot of summer, you know, the heat of summer. And what is that doing to the rest of your house? It's keeping the rest of your house much cooler.
Right.
So,
Yeah, so spray foam is a more expensive little thing that makes a big difference.
yes, that is if you can afford that spray foam insulation, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, and watch some TikTok videos of that being installed. It's so cool. You know, you spray it and then it just grows. I always think that's cool to watch that. And so,
Well, not only in your attic, you can get spray foam insulation in your walls.
in the walls too. Yeah.
And that can create, you know, not only a temperature, you know, where it insulates your walls a little better, but it creates more of a sound barrier.
To the outside noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really cool too to see when they do that spray foam insulation, and they go and they're in there and they're like sawing down, you know, like cutting it down like it's like a cake, like you're icing a cake. So cool.
Clearing
Love it.
off.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Next one is a tankless water heater.
You know, as we're going down this list, like all these things to me, like they may be little, but they're a must. Like I don't think I would ever want to go back to one of those huge water heaters. And a tankless water heater, if you've ever been driving and you see this little metal rectangular device on the outside of a house, it's usually near the electrical meter that spins. But that little rectangular enclosure door is the tankless water heater. And it's
Yeah, you
got
can
all
get them inside or outside, but that's what those are. Those
Yep.
little white vented.
What's the price difference on that with the big tank that everybody used to have in their garage or laundry room?
You're probably looking at a price difference of say $1,000.
Gotcha.
You know, maybe less than that, depending on the capacity of the tankless water heater that you get. Right, like they have different capacities to produce, you know, so many different gallons per minute or whatever. But
Apples to apples, you know, just the regular standard.
yeah, probably $1,000 difference.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so
And you also get a price break. What is that, through the electric company?
well, here in North Alabama, our gas district they will pay you a refund of $350
If you do use the tankless.
to use a tankless water heater, right? Yeah, because it is more energy efficient and it gives them a customer, so it's kind of like a rebate. You know, one of the biggest benefits of a tankless water heater is you never run out of hot water, right? Like you can.
Wait, say that again.
You never run out of hot water. Yeah, and you know, like in our house,
To me, you spend $1,000. I mean, that $1,000, like,
one cold shower is.
yes.
You'd give $1,000 in the
Yeah.
home building process.
In the
Yeah.
grand scheme of everything, I'm going to put that at the top of everything that you've said so far. This tankless water heater.
Yeah.
And we'll rank them in a minute, but go ahead.
Yeah. So, but
That one cold shower.
in our house, you know, like I can be taking a shower, and Emmett, our son, he can be taking a shower. You can be washing clothes or running the sink or whatever, and everybody's got hot water infinitely, you know. So the way it works is there's a gas element in the water heater. As the water crosses, it's heated to a super high temperature, and then it pumps out into the house. You know, it has a regulator on it. It has a thermostat where you can change the temperature of the water.
Every now and then we'll go into a new build and somebody has put in a water heater, like the older water heater.
Style. Mm-hmm.
Tank style. And it is heartbreaking. Like, in the grand scheme of things, it's really like a difference of, maybe overall $500 to $700,
Well, and the other thing to consider is this, though. A lot of people say that the electric tankless water heaters don't perform as well as the gas. So we have natural gas and natural gas availability here. If you don't have that, you may be better served with a tank water heater, right? But for us, we've got natural gas availability. The electric ones don't hold up as well. If you get a propane one, if you're out in the country somewhere and you don't have that availability, then you're going to be. I would rank water heaters like this. Number one for me, tankless gas water heater, and then number two would be the tank electric, right? Number three would be tankless electric, because they just don't have a good track record. From everybody I've ever heard, they don't work the same as a tankless gas, because you're using an electric element to heat up,
and it's not going to be immediate. Same thing with cooking, people prefer gas usually because you can cook a lot faster.
But that's about $1,000 difference from a tank to a tankless.
If you're in North Alabama though, and you get that rebate, you're looking at less
than that, right? Next one we got to talk about is windows. Windows are a little thing that make a big difference in your house. The energy efficiency of the house, the overall look of the house.
And you're talking about quality of window.
The
quality of the window. We go back and forth on this because windows are so expensive. And so some people are actually building with, I don't know what you call that, not the, what's the window that some builders are using, not double paned even.
Oh yeah, like single pane window.
Single pane window. We usually try to use a good quality double pane window, but now windows are like anything else. You can spend as much as you want to in windows, and also windows, you can get argon gas in the middle of windows, to help with temperature and climate and all that inside your house. And so it's really good to get, a decent quality window.
Yeah, I always recommend getting the best quality window that your budget will allow you to get.
Your budget will allow, yes.
Because it's going to be something that's there for the life of the home, right? You may change them 20, 30 years from now, right? But, you look at the product, the sustainability, the energy efficiency of it, there's double hung and single hung windows for cleaning. You can lift out and take out the sash. There's a lot of options there. So big thing though, always make sure, and then color options. You got different color options that you can also
just get a decent quality window. One that's going to hold up at least 15 years.
You're getting windows, right? You're going to have to get windows in a house. Every house has windows. So the little thing that makes a big difference in that respect is the quality of the actual product that you're putting in, right?
Right.
Because if you're putting a cheap window in, you're not getting the energy efficiency. So not only you may be saving money on the initial, but you're losing money over time.
Yes. And you can even like touch and feel a cheap window, and that just I show houses and it's like, man, why don't y'all go with this cheap window? Or, we had a client that really pushed the budget on a good window, and man, they were like, I just wanted to pull it up, put it down, pull it up,
right?
Because they were so nice. So, where do we get our windows, John? Builder's Choice usually.
Usually get ours from.
Yeah,
Builder's
a lot of people
Choice,
say, where do you get a good window? That's usually there's a guy there that will hook you up with a good window that pretty much knows the ins and outs.
Yeah, and they have, and the great thing about them is they have their displays there.
They have their displays that you can touch and feel, and they back them and things like that. But yeah, Builder's Choice is a great place for windows. Charging outlets, that's a little extra that you can include in a house. We've had several clients to add in charging outlets, and what I mean, like a USB outlet.
Just an outlet that's already got the charging port built into it.
You can actually hardwire those, little quirky outlet, because ours is just, a normal outlet per se is just the face.
Yeah, you don't have to keep up with a block, all right?
Right.
And then, if you got teenagers that come take your block and disappear with it, you just have the outlet built in and it's there and you can't remove it. Those cost generally, I think, about $20 a piece to put them in,
Right.
So,
you need to have them prior to the electrician wiring the house. We've also had people to put in different charging outlets in. They hide them in cabinets, under an island. You can get creative. The sky's the limit when you're building a house. But so you really need to, when I say make a plan and a budget, really just think through everything, and some clients are even, I feel like they're more planned and prepared than we are. We get to the drawing board and they're like, I want X, Y, and Z. Know what you want before you build. And so the charging outlets is one of those
very little cost, but you don't want
cost.
them everywhere, though.
No.
That wouldn't make sense either. So be thinking through that and go, okay, here's where I think I'm going to need a charger or whatever, and then you don't have to keep up with that. Your favorite thing to add into any home is storage.
Right? Woo! So. Storage. And when you say storage, not only are you saying closets, I want storage. I like to take up all the space available. I don't want anything hidden behind a wall. If there's storage in the attic that you can floor and stick some stuff in, I want to have that usable. I want everything that is usable space to be available in a house, because I think that's important, though. I know so many people that, I've got 2 storage units that I'm making a payment on monthly. Y'all, those things can be something that, you can be adding to your home. You can be putting that money into your home as opposed to spending it in a storage unit. I mean, you think, if you're spending, let's just say $100 a month on a storage unit, that's $1,200 a year. How much over the course?
Or here's an idea.
Okay.
Here's something
we fight about storage.
Here's something you could consider: not having a bunch of junk,
a bunch of stuff. Yeah, but that junk person, or that the person that doesn't have
junk person. You're right. Yeah.
That doesn't have that complains about all the stuff you have, has just as much, if not more. So you've got that to deal with. But definitely storage. In the house that we're building currently, we went in and the framers were framing up, and we had this little spot under the stairs, and they framed it up, little things. They framed it up, and it was like a little closet, like a normal closet. And I'm like, no. We need to go and make sure you go all the way to the back of the steps, so you could utilize, have a little extra storage space. So, and then also, I like to coordinate with my HVAC person to make sure, hey, don't get into my storage space. I want to make sure that I've got an attic space, because when you're building a 2-story or a bonus room on a house, you lose a lot of attic space. And, you've got upstairs, you've got to have so much HVAC, room, ductwork. Yeah, all that ductwork it really does take up a lot of space. But in the grand scheme of things, if you map it out prior to, you can save that storage space. So I'm a big storage.
This next one goes right in hand with that: closet shelving, closet layout, that kind of stuff, right? You can spend extra money to get drawers and shelves and hangers and all that in your closet, or you can just do wire shelving.
Yes, and so basic is wire shelving. Usually when we do spec homes, if we don't have a potential buyer, we do a lot more, maybe just some basic wire shelving. Now we do a little more than the basic, we put more than just one bar, one wire bar. The new thing is all these really cool organizational shelving, MDF boards.
Yeah, just drawers or shelves or cubbies and shoe holders and
all those,
the different things, to make your space more
efficient.
But
I'm telling you, that you can really get into some money there,
right,
$10,000 more.
Yeah, it can add up quick.
Can add up very quick.
We like to do that maybe in like the master suite or whatever,
Yes.
and then let the other places be the wire shelving or just something, standard.
But now in a pantry, if you're, cutting hairs like, oh goodness, your closet bid comes in and you're like, ooh, don't skimp on the number of shelves in your pantry. Go ahead and add those 2 extra shelves in your pantry because you're going to want them. You don't want to go back and put them in later. But if you're worried about $100 on your closet bid, keep those shelves in. Because I have
typically that comes near the end of the project too,
yeah.
right? And so it's like one of those things where you can actually see the end in sight, and you go, "Oh, I don't want to spend that much money."
Yeah, you can save money. I mean, anywhere you can save money everywhere on a home. But if you do the little things, it matters in the end, I do believe.
So yeah, closet shelving is important.
Also, cabinet extras. Some of those things you can get into some more cost with that. But like a pan holder or a spice rack or a trash can or a little pull out for pots and pans or lids. Or a lazy Susan, or a hidden closet, or cabinet within your cabinet. All those things are extras and that you need to plan out prior to. But they really add a lot to a house and make it cool.
Yeah. So the last thing I saw you had on your list there was the backyard, back porch, that kind of space and stuff like that.
Actually, I have just a few more real quick. Yeah. So if you have a little extra money in your budget, which I don't know how much this is, like maybe $1,500. Add a little extra patio back there. Extend your back porch a little bit.
Oh, you're talking about, okay, so she's talking about adding concrete. Yeah.
That's my other thing that I'm obsessed with.
Yeah.
Concrete. I love concrete, like hard concrete. I love it.
If it was up to Kim, our backyard would not be grass.
A car
it would
lot.
Be a parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, add a little extra concrete. Every house that we have, I feel like I'm like,
add a little more.
Add a little more. Actually, we had a little house like before we lived in this one. It was our tiny house, is what I called it. And I had researched like how to lay concrete. Like I was gonna actually like buy these bags and mix it up. And anyways, so but yes,
Kim was also going to paint her own car one time in college. Or maybe it was after college. I don't know. She was going to get spray cans of product and paint.
But it was auto products. Anyways, okay. Yeah, so yeah, we're not going to tell all those little things that I used to do. Just a few more to wrap up. You can add a few more little extras to landscape. You don't have to do bare bones. I think you will be in the end if you're living there. Now, you don't have to go all out and go crazy, but, plants take a long time to grow. So you really want to be methodical about what you pick, how fast they grow. And if you add a little extra wow things, I think in a year or two, you will be very pleased by adding just a little extra. Backsplash is an extra. I think that's a must in a kitchen. I really do. Nowadays, you don't really see many new homes without a backsplash. And then if you have just an extra, like $75,000 to $90,000 if you want to go on the.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this is not a little thing. You put that on a list, and I was like, that is not a little thing.
If you want to add a detached garage, but here's the thing about a detached garage, and here's one of the reasons I put it on little things. If you plan to have that later, like if you plan for the little things now, you can have it later. So the house that we're building currently, even though it doesn't have a detached garage, we position the house in order that the homeowner can have a detached garage later.
We left space for it.
We left space for it because
there's
there's
system around it.
Right, we worked our septic system around it, and like those are little things that make a big difference later. So, that space is there, but those are planning things. Okay, what is your top thing real quick that is a must-have for these little things?
My number one, I would say, is probably a tankless water heater. I mean, that to me, once you go that route, you can't go back. I remember like we went on vacation. You remember this?
I know this was coming.
We went on vacation, and Emmett got in the shower and was just taking like his normal shower or whatever, and ran all the water,
Yep.
hot water out. And then we all were coming in from like traveling.
He took a bath, is what he did.
That's what he did. Yeah, he ran the tub because it was a jet tub or whatever. He ran the tub.
We went to Colorado. It was cold, and he wanted to just lay in the tub.
There was no hot water.
No hot water. I couldn't even wash dishes.
I think Nora was taking a shower and it went from hot to cold on her.
Immediately.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was, yeah. So anyway, once we had that tankless water heater, I don't see a way to go backwards from
So
that.
if I were rating these, I too also would say that is the most important, a tankless water heater. Like that's without a doubt. Even if I moved into a home, I think I would have to install a tankless water heater. So
Gotcha.
anyways, but we've enjoyed sharing those little things with you this week, and we hope that you tune in again. And anything else?
That's it, man. Hope you guys have a great week. Thanks for watching the show. We'll see you.
See y'all.
Thanks for listening to the House Guy and Home Girl podcast, your #1 source for all things home. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and check out our YouTube page for video content from the show.